Do you ever feel like no matter how hard you try, success keeps slipping through your fingers? Like no matter what you achieve, there's always something missing. It's a frustrating reality many of us face. But what if I told you the reason? You're not finding true success isn't because you're doing something wrong, but because you're holding on to dangerous beliefs about success. Here's the truth. If you don't learn how to control your emotions and develop mental resilience, success will always be elusive. In this video, we're going to dive deep into 7 dangerous beliefs about success that are keeping you stuck. Beliefs that most people don't even realize are sabotaging their potential. And more importantly, I'll show you how the ancient philosophy of Stoicism holds the key to breaking free from these limiting mindsets and creating a life of real success. Now, before you think this is just another motivational talk, let me make this clear. What I'm about to share isn't just theory. It's practical, timeless wisdom that has helped countless individuals throughout history. From Roman emperors to modern-day entrepreneurs, Stoic philosophy has been the bedrock of mental toughness, resilience, and true personal growth. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand why these beliefs are holding you back, but you'll also be armed with powerful Stoic techniques to finally break free from them and unlock the true potential within you. So stay with me, because what you'll learn today can change the way you think about success, and more importantly, the way you live your life. Belief number 1, success is about being lucky. In our society, it's common to hear people say, "He's lucky to be in that position," or "She's just fortunate to have found that opportunity." This mindset implies that success is something left to chance, like winning the lottery or finding a hidden treasure. Many people believe that those who achieve greatness were simply at the right place at the right time with the right amount of luck. It's a comforting thought because it absolves individuals from taking responsibility for their own lives and actions. But here lies the danger of this belief. It leads to inaction and excuses. If success is only a matter of luck, then why bother trying? Why work hard, face setbacks, and persist? If luck is all that matters, you may feel like your efforts are pointless. Now, take a moment to reflect. Have you ever caught yourself thinking that others' success was purely due to their good luck? This belief can prevent you from taking control of your life and truly making progress. If you don't believe you have control over your own success, it's easy to feel stuck. Stoicism teaches us a completely different perspective. According to Stoic philosophy, success is not a matter of luck but a result of effort, perseverance, and control over one's own actions. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, emphasized that our lives are shaped by our actions and our reactions, not by external factors. Success, in Stoicism, is about mastering our emotions and our responses to the circumstances we encounter. For instance, let's look at the life of Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor known for his Stoic writings. Marcus didn't become successful because of chance. He faced wars, political strife, and personal challenges, yet he succeeded because he controlled his actions and remained steadfast in his principles. He didn't rely on luck. He relied on his self-discipline, decision-making, and resilience. Take a practical example from your own life. Have you ever faced a situation where you were convinced you couldn't succeed because you felt unlucky or out of control? Perhaps you were struggling with a job interview or preparing for an exam, and you thought success depended on the opportunity or the circumstances rather than your own preparation and mindset. When you shift your mindset to one of control, as the Stoics do, you begin to realize that success is less about chance and more about your attitude and persistence. The Stoic mindset empowers you to take charge of your life. It encourages you to stop waiting for the right moment and start creating opportunities through discipline and hard work. When you embrace the Stoic approach, you no longer passively wait for luck to find you. You actively work towards your goals. Success is within your reach, and it's up to you to seize it. Now that we've explored how believing in luck can hold you back, let's dive into a belief that often keeps people paralyzed. The idea that you must have everything figured out before you can succeed. Belief number 2, you must have everything figured out. How often have you heard someone say, "I just need to figure everything out and then I'll be ready"? It's easy to get caught up in the idea that success is a linear path, one that requires every detail to be perfectly planned, every step to be calculated, and every question to be answered before moving forward. This belief creates an immense amount of pressure, leaving many people feeling stuck or paralyzed. It leads to the misconception that success is about having everything under control and perfect, but this couldn't be further from the truth. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt you had to have everything figured out before starting something new, whether it was a career, a relationship, or a personal goal? The pressure to have all the answers before taking the first step can be overwhelming. It can cause hesitation, procrastination, and an inability to move forward because no one in reality has everything figured out. In Stoicism, the belief that you must have everything figured out before you can move forward is challenged. The Stoics teach that life is inherently uncertain and unpredictable, and that's okay. In fact, the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is a key principle in Stoic thought. Success doesn't come from knowing everything in advance, but from responding to situations as they come and adapting along the way. Look at the example of Seneca, another Stoic philosopher. He didn't wait until everything was perfect before taking action. In fact, much of his success came from his ability to adapt and face life's uncertainties. As a prominent advisor to the Emperor Nero, he was constantly faced with political instability, danger, and unpredictability. Yet Seneca thrived because he learned to make the best choices with what was available to him, using his wisdom and Stoic principles to guide his decisions. He didn't let the fear of not knowing every outcome stop him from acting. Think about your own life. How many times have you delayed starting something because you didn't feel fully prepared? Perhaps it was starting a new project or making a major life change. The pressure to have a perfect plan can freeze us in our tracks. But what if instead you embraced uncertainty and started with what you knew? The Stoic way is to take action, trust in your ability to adapt, and accept that you don't need to have everything figured out right away. It's okay to take imperfect action. For example, if you're considering a career change but feel unsure about the specifics, instead of waiting until you have a perfect plan, why not take small steps to explore the new field? Research, network, and take classes. You'll learn more by doing than by overthinking. Each step you take, no matter how small, will get you closer to your goal, and it will build your confidence. Stoicism teaches us to take action and trust the process, rather than waiting for perfection. Now that we've examined how the pressure to have everything figured out can hinder progress, let's challenge another belief that often leads people down the wrong path: the idea that success is defined by wealth and fame. Belief number 3. Success equals money and fame. In our modern world, success is often equated with wealth and fame. We see celebrities and wealthy business people on social media living what seems like the ideal life, and it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that this is what success looks like. Society tells us that if you have money, recognition, and a lavish lifestyle, you've made it. But this belief is not only misleading, it can also be deeply disheartening when you realize that chasing these external markers of success rarely leads to true fulfillment. Take a moment to reflect on your own life. Have you ever thought that you would be happier or more successful if you had more money or recognition? It's a common belief, but it's also one that can keep you stuck in a cycle of endless striving. The problem with this mindset is that it ties your happiness and sense of accomplishment to things you can't always control, like the opinions of others or external validation. Stoicism offers a completely different perspective. According to Stoic philosophy, true success is not about accumulating wealth or seeking public admiration. Rather, it is about cultivating inner peace, living virtuously, and finding fulfillment within yourself. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers and Roman emperors, wrote extensively about the importance of focusing on what is within your control and not placing your value on external things. He argued that wealth and fame may offer temporary pleasure, but they can never bring lasting contentment. One of the most powerful teachings in Stoicism is that true success lies in self-mastery, wisdom, and virtue. These are the qualities that give life meaning and allow us to navigate the ups and downs with grace. Take the example of Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, who was very wealthy and held high political office. Despite his material success, Seneca frequently reminded his readers that wealth and fame are fleeting and should not be the goal in life. Instead, he advocated for cultivating inner peace through philosophy, virtue, and self-control. Seneca believed that contentment could be found by aligning one's life with reason and virtue, not by accumulating riches. If you look closely at many successful people, you'll notice that the ones who truly find fulfillment don't chase money or fame. They chase purpose, personal growth, and the pursuit of inner peace. Think about the many philanthropists and change-makers who use their wealth to benefit others. People like Warren Buffett, who has pledged to give away the majority of his fortune. His success isn't about accumulating money for its own sake. It's about using his resources to create positive change in the world. This is where Stoicism can be a guide. Instead of measuring success by the external markers of wealth and fame, focus on what you can control: your actions, your mindset, and your virtue. When you prioritize these over superficial success, you create a life that is not only successful in the eyes of others, but more importantly, in your own eyes. Now that we've explored how Stoicism challenges the idea of success as wealth and fame, let's look at a belief that often holds people back from reaching their full potential: the fear of failure and the mistaken idea that failure equals incompetence. Belief number 4: failure means you're not good enough. In many cultures, failure is seen as a mark of incompetence. We're often taught that if we fail, it reflects our personal shortcomings, that we're simply not good enough, and that we should be ashamed. This belief can be paralyzing, preventing us from taking risks or pursuing our goals. After all, why try if failure means you're a failure? But this mindset is not only false, it's also damaging. Failure is not a reflection of our worth. It's an essential part of growth and progress. Think about a time in your life when you failed at something important to you. Maybe you didn't get the promotion you worked hard for, or you didn't pass an important exam. In those moments, did you feel like you weren't good enough? It's natural to experience disappointment and frustration, but the key is understanding that failure does not define you. It's simply a stepping stone in the learning process. Stoicism teaches us a radically different perspective. For the Stoics, failure is not an end, it's a beginning. Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, believed that it is not failure itself that defines us, but our reaction to it. He wrote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This Stoic principle teaches us that failure is an opportunity to build resilience, gain wisdom, and practice emotional control. Consider the example of Thomas Edison, the famous inventor. He is known for having failed thousands of times before successfully inventing the light bulb. But he didn't see his failures as indications of his inadequacy. Instead, he viewed each failure as a lesson, a valuable piece of the puzzle that would eventually lead to success. Edison's mindset aligns perfectly with Stoic teachings. He controlled his response to failure, learned from his mistakes, and persevered until he achieved his goal. The Stoics understood that failure is a natural part of life. It's not something to fear or avoid, but something to embrace. When you fail, you learn. You adapt, you grow. If you allow failure to define your self-worth, you will never push yourself beyond your comfort zone. But if you use failure as a tool for personal development, you can turn every setback into an opportunity for growth. When you accept failure as part of the process, you stop seeing it as a roadblock and start seeing it as a stepping stone to success. This shift in perspective is powerful because it takes the fear out of failure and replaces it with a sense of purpose and determination. Now that we've explored how failure is a necessary and valuable part of success, let's tackle a belief that often keeps people from growing and developing: the idea that success means avoiding pain and discomfort. Belief number 5: success is achieved by avoiding pain. It's a belief many people hold. If I can avoid pain, discomfort, or hardship, I'll be successful. In today's society, comfort is often seen as a sign of success. We look at those who seem to live an easy life, free from struggles and challenges, and think they've reached the pinnacle of achievement. The idea is that success is about minimizing pain and maximizing comfort. But what if this belief is not only misleading, but actually holding you back from true growth? Reflect for a moment. How many times have you avoided something difficult because you feared the discomfort it might bring? Maybe you've hesitated to take on a challenging project at work, or delayed starting a new workout routine because you didn't want to deal with the pain of failure or physical discomfort. It's easy to seek the path of least resistance, but as we'll see, this path doesn't lead to the success or fulfillment we desire. Stoicism, however, tells us something radically different. The Stoics teach that pain and hardship are not obstacles to success. They are integral parts of the journey. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, believed that The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, challenges and discomfort are not things to avoid but to embrace, because they provide us with opportunities for growth and strength. Think about the life of Socrates. Despite living in a society that often rejected his ideas, he never avoided the discomfort of standing by his principles. He was willing to endure personal suffering for the sake of truth and wisdom. His commitment to self-mastery and intellectual growth led him to become one of the most respected figures in Western philosophy, not because he avoided pain, but because he faced it head-on and used it as fuel for his personal development. In the same way, every challenge you face, every setback, every uncomfortable situation is an opportunity to build mental toughness and resilience. For example, when you push through physical discomfort in a workout, you not only grow stronger physically, but you also develop the mental fortitude needed to face life's challenges. The same principle applies to your career or personal goals. When you take on difficult tasks, you learn, adapt, and become more capable. Consider this. If you consistently avoid challenges because they make you uncomfortable, you are essentially avoiding growth. But when you embrace discomfort, you expand your limits and become stronger, both mentally and physically. Success, according to Stoicism, is not about avoiding pain, but about cultivating the strength to face it with grace and resilience. Now that we've explored how Stoicism teaches us to embrace discomfort, let's move on to a belief that often stifles individuality and personal growth. The idea that success means following the crowd. Belief number 6. You must follow the crowd to succeed. In today's world, it's easy to believe that success is about fitting in. We are constantly exposed to images of people who are popular, wealthy, or admired because they conform to societal expectations. There's a prevailing notion that to be successful, you need to follow the trends, do what everyone else is doing, and seek approval from the masses. It's as if the crowd knows the path to success, and all you have to do is follow in their footsteps. But this belief is not only flawed, it can be a major hindrance to your personal growth and fulfillment. Pause for a moment and think. Have you ever felt pressured to follow a popular trend or adopt the same opinions and habits as those around you, simply because it seemed like the right thing to do? Maybe you followed a career path that others expected of you, or conformed to a lifestyle that didn't truly resonate with who you are. While it's natural to want to belong, following the crowd doesn't always lead to true success. Stoicism challenges this belief head-on. The Stoics teach that true success comes from individuality, personal responsibility, and living according to one's own principles. Marcus Aurelius, for example, did not follow the crowd in his thinking or actions. As the ruler of the Roman Empire, he often stood by his own convictions, even when they went against popular opinion. He lived by his values and not the expectations of others, demonstrating that real success is rooted in authenticity and self-determination, not in conforming to societal norms. Consider Socrates once again. He famously said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." Socrates didn't follow the crowd. In fact, he often challenged the popular beliefs of his time, even though it led to his eventual trial and execution. But by remaining true to his own philosophy and values, Socrates achieved something much greater than material success. He left a legacy of wisdom that continues to influence the world today. The Stoic perspective encourages you to look inward, to cultivate your own beliefs and values, and to live by them regardless of external pressures. Think about a situation in your life where you felt the need to follow the crowd. Perhaps it was in a job you didn't enjoy, or a social group you didn't feel aligned with. When you conform to what everyone else is doing, you might temporarily feel accepted, but you also lose a sense of who you are. In contrast, Stoic philosophy teaches that true success comes from living authentically and making decisions that are in alignment with your values. By choosing to live according to your own principles, you free yourself from the shackles of social conformity. You become the master of your own path, rather than following a road paved by others. Now that we've examined how the Stoic approach values individuality over conformity, let's challenge another belief that many people hold: the idea that success equals happiness. Belief number 7. Success will make you happy. In modern society, there's a common belief that success, whether it's financial, professional, or personal, will automatically bring happiness. We often hear things like, "If I just get that promotion," or once I buy that house, I'll be happy. This belief is deeply ingrained in the way we view success. But what if success doesn't actually lead to lasting happiness? What if, instead of bringing joy, it simply creates a cycle of desire that never truly satisfies? Take a moment to think. Have you ever achieved something you thought would bring you happiness, only to realize that the happiness was fleeting? Maybe it was a new car, a career milestone, or even gaining social media followers. At first it felt amazing, but soon enough, the excitement wore off, and you were left wanting more. This cycle of seeking external achievements for internal happiness is not only exhausting, but it can also leave you feeling unfulfilled. Stoicism offers a radically different approach to happiness. According to the Stoics, true happiness is not found in external accomplishments, but in virtue, wisdom, and inner peace. Marcus Aurelius, for example, believed that happiness comes from aligning one's life with nature and living according to reason, not from accumulating wealth, status, or material possessions. He wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This statement underscores the Stoic view that happiness is a result of how we think and live, not what we achieve. The Stoics teach that happiness is not something that comes from outside sources. It is something that is cultivated from within. This is a profound shift in thinking. Instead of chasing success in the hope that it will bring happiness, Stoicism encourages us to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, and our mindset. By mastering these, we can find contentment regardless of our external circumstances. Consider the concept of eudaimonia, which is often translated as flourishing or living in accordance with virtue. This is the Stoic ideal of happiness. It's not about achieving external goals, but about living a life of integrity, practicing self-discipline, and making decisions that align with your values. True happiness, from a Stoic perspective, is about finding peace in who you are, not in what you have or what you've accomplished. Think about it. How many times have you thought that if only you achieved one more thing, you would finally be happy? It's a never-ending cycle. But when you focus on building inner peace and living by your values, you create a foundation of happiness that doesn't depend on external success. It's a happiness that's within your control, and one that stays with you no matter what happens outside. The key takeaway from Stoicism is this: success is not a guarantee of happiness. Instead, happiness comes from living virtuously, mastering your mind, and accepting life as it is. When you do this, success becomes a byproduct of a life well lived, not the source of your happiness. To wrap things up, we've explored 7 dangerous beliefs about success that are keeping you stuck, preventing you from reaching your full potential. Whether it's the illusion of luck, the pressure of perfection, or the false belief that success equals money and fame, each of these mindsets holds you back from achieving true fulfillment. The real secret to success lies in the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, in cultivating emotional control, embracing failure as a lesson, and focusing on inner peace and virtue rather than external validation. By applying Stoic principles to your life, you can free yourself from the chains of these limiting beliefs and create lasting success on your own terms. Now I want you to ask yourself, what belief have you been holding on to that has been keeping you stuck? It's time to let go of the idea that success is something you can achieve by avoiding discomfort or conforming to the crowd. Instead, success is about living with purpose, developing resilience, and controlling what you can: your thoughts, your actions, and your mindset. If this message resonated with you, comment, "I choose resilience," and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, the true path to success is paved with self-discipline, resilience, and a clear Stoic mindset.